cards guru, and suddenly we became online gurus. And so basically, why they're saying I'm an online guru, I'm a tool freak. I have an addiction to tools and software because that helps my life, helps my consulting, helps my teaching, and my life, my personal life as well. So we're gonna see how I use these tools, okay? And since it's a workshop, it's not gonna be just a presentation. We're gonna get into some of the tools live, and we're gonna look at them together, okay? And basically the agenda, here is the agenda. What I'm gonna do is, I call it Zen Space. Basically, it's my little space here that I'm gonna show you in a bit. Zoom, as you all know, we're on Zoom right now. Some people prefer Google Meet and so on. I understand. Zoom is the most powerful because you're gonna see some of the cool features that maybe you didn't know. Maybe you knew, but you didn't use them. If you do use them, they're really, really powerful. Then we're going to look at Miro. Miro is a online whiteboard, and this is very important for students, for teachers, for anybody that is collaborating, and usually in an office space or in a class, they just have a whiteboard and they can do exercise and brainstorming together. So how do you do that online? You use a tool like Miro. So we're going to look at that. That's going to be a live tool that we're going to look at. Notion is a all-in-one workspace, which I absolutely adore. It's my go-to tool for anything about my career, my personal life, my habits, my routines, everything is on my Notion. We're going to look at that. There's a free version that is more than enough for a lot of people. And the paid version is like $5 or something like that a month, which is very, very valuable. We're going to look at some games because I know that everybody wants to still have fun while they're at home and they want to interact with their friends. And there are some amazing online games that we use with my friends. And Friday night or Saturdays, we do some game sessions and it's really, really fun. So then we're going to leave some time for a Q&A. I hope that you're going to prepare some questions because I'd love to answer them on how you want to use these tools, how maybe you want to set up your space and so on. So as mentioned earlier, I'm a bit allergic today. I took my medicines, but if I do mute and sneeze, I'm going to try to mute it every time. And if I don't, sorry about that. Okay. So basically Zen Space. All right, this is my Zen Space. So I'll let you a second while I sneeze there to explore the image. Okay, why do I call it a Zen Space? Because I think that it's where I can work very comfortably. I can study. I study a lot as well. I teach as well, as you might know. That's why I'm here, I think, also. And what you can see on the Zen Space is that it makes it Zen because I have a background in the back, which is a real background. It's my terrace and a beautiful view of Barcelona. So I know that everybody doesn't have the same luck, maybe having that space, but you can create some kind of Zen space for yourself. Okay, and Zen doesn't mean that you have to have a whole room for yourself or anything. It's just to have a little corner. So basically, that's my little corner. Here's my living room. Actually, the rest of the living room. I don't have an extra space as an office space, but this little table with some equipment on it that we're going to look at, and that creates my Zen space. So what it means is that I can work here hours and hours. I get bored. I'm quite happy to work here. But the also great thing is that when I want to disconnect and I just want to watch TV and so on, I know that that space is there and it doesn't come to my day-to-day routine. So if you do work with your laptop or you study with your laptop on your couch in front of the TV, you're actually mixing the two all the time, your entertainment space and your workspace. So try to not do that, okay? So even a tiny table in a corner, I've seen some people here on the call that uses boxes to do standing desks, and that's also acceptable. She's smiling there. I'll show you also a few options of cardboard examples that you can do as well. And I also will show you the other limit, which is my table. So on my Zen space, as you've seen a little bit, I will go through what I have in there. So first of all, I have something called the fully Jarvis standing desk. As you can see right now, I'm standing, I'm walking around, everything is here, okay? So the Jarvis standing desk is a bit expensive, so it's not for everybody. But if you are thinking professionally and you're working and you really need the space for a longer amount of time, I do recommend fully Jarvis standing desk. This was one of the best things that I put my money into. I did it, I think, 4 weeks after being under quarantine. I was like, you know what? I can't just work in a desk that I'm stuck all day, because I found myself some US hours as well, one of my clients, and I was 14 hours, I think, in a chair. And to be honest with you, my bum started to hurt, right? And you start really feeling, oh my God. And I start fidgety. I start trying to find new in the chair and put my legs up and so on. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. And to be honest with you, you give up after a while. So the fully Jarvis standing desk, we're going to look at it. It's a great, great tool, a great, great furniture. A Blue Yeti microphone, we're going to look at that as well. It's a USB mic. As you can see, my headphones, but these are, again, high-end, but there is obviously hundreds of options of price ranges that we can look at together as well, if you like. So a Logitech USB camera, again, you have from 40 euros to 200 euros, I think. So that's really up to you, but even the 40 euros one saves lives. Timer, time tracking, we're going to look at that. I'm going to actually show you physically what that is. Okay, a MacBook Pro, we're not going to look at that. Logitech multi-keyboard, we're not going to look at that. Apple trackpad, we're not going to look at that. Pens and notepad, I hope that you all know what that is, right? We're not going to look at that. Then I added a little thing that I have on my desk that makes me really happy. Is my little family picture. Okay, so this is my Zen Space. So if I have these 10 items on my desk, usually I can work very comfortably for hours and hours and every day. Okay, so we're going to dig into some of them. Some of them, I hope that you already know what is a MacBook Pro, so we're not going to dig into it, okay? And you could have any other laptop, of course. So in my Zen Space, as we said, my standing desk is my Jarvis laminate standing desk. It's a bit expensive, right? But it's really saved my back already, saved my sanity, and I'm maybe doing double the amount of work without being tired, right? So if I'm standing and I want to sit, my chair is just here. I press a button here, and I can even do it while we're on the call. So my desk and everything will go down. I will just pull in my chair and I'll be ready to actually work from a chair, okay? So since we're doing a bit of a presentation, I like to be standing up. So I'm going back up. So this is great. It's expensive, I know. So this is why I'm gonna share you another option. Another option, it's what is a DeskMate. The DeskMate, this is about 20 euros, I think. 29 pounds, I think, one of the versions. They have two other versions. They have a smaller version. This is like the double version. Basically, it's a cardboard, but it's a cardboard designed for this. When you come, you open the cardboard, you just put it on your desk. You have a standing desk, okay? So basically, when you don't want to have a standing desk, you can take your laptop off. Just on the sides, you have these little two holes. You press them, the cardboard closes. You can just put it next to your desk. So I've seen a lot of people, they do DIY versions. Here on the call, we have Valeria, which did an amazing DIY version for herself. But if she did want to not have a DIY version, she could just order a DeskMate and have a cardboard version for herself. So this is the two end of standing. One is the top automated version, okay, which is a furniture piece that could take space maybe at home. And the other one, obviously, is a cardboard version that doesn't take no space at home, and you can just put it on the side. So I do really recommend to have a standing desk. If you've never had a standing desk, go with a cardboard. Start testing for a month. Your back is going to thank you. Your health is going to thank you. And you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I love this stuff. You can also go even IKEA. I think I had an IKEA version here. The IKEA version is about 200 euros. Okay, if you do have your house and so on, please look at the options that you have. You have a very cheap cardboard version that does the job. You have an IKEA version that's in the middle, or you have a high-end standing desk version, which is the fully Jarvis. So I do recommend a standing desk to everybody. Okay, so we were speaking about microphone. I hope that you can hear me quite clearly, right? The microphone that I'm using is not the Bose. It's not the laptop neither. And why? Because usually the quality of the laptop speaker or even the headphone speakers, if they're the same, you get some kind of echo. It does bother you. So I have this Blue Yeti microphone. I bought it like years ago. It wasn't for this. I bought it for my studio, for my music recording. But suddenly I was like, ooh, I can use the USB microphone actually for work and for my desk. So in this USB mics, you're going to have very, very different versions as well that you can find. I think there is versions from 29 euros on Amazon to microphones can go up to 5,000, but those are for recording amazing vocals, which you don't need. So anything from 25 to 100, 125 will do the job, and you'll have very good quality, and nobody will complain about, I can't hear you. Hey, what's going on? Kind of stuff. So I do recommend a USB mic. On Amazon, seriously, for 20 euros, you can get a really, really good USB microphone that will do the job. Okay, so headphones, I'm showing some expensive headphones. These headphones that I've been using for a long time, but now I use it for my Zen Space. They work lovely. Nobody can bother me. Background noise doesn't bother me. Music doesn't bother anybody in the house as well, which is great. Okay, but again, I know that you all have different options of headphones, and you can even have your Apple cable headphones that will do the job. Okay, so I'm just showing you what I have. That doesn't mean that you have to have that. It's just very ideal for me. It works perfectly for me. So we talked about the USB cameras and why a USB camera. As you can see, I'm looking direct at you. Okay, and my laptop is actually on the side. So I have a little Logitech USB camera on top. Okay, and I think it's the 99 version, the 900, the C922. And you have cheaper ones. If you go down on the page on the Logitech website, you have again some starting at $30 or $40, something like that. It's very, very useful, especially if you do have a second screen. Before that I had that, I would look at the screen, look at the people, and you would only see my side, so it would be like that, right? So I think that that's very important, especially if you're doing important meetings, if you're working. For your classes as well, it's important for your classmates to see you, the teachers to see you, and I do recommend a camera for everybody, okay? Again, it's up to your budget. You can go from 30 to 100 on Logitech. So I know that a lot of people struggle from working at home or studying from home. So what I did for myself is I got myself a little time ruler. Okay, this is actually 15 euros. All right, it's just a little dice. Okay, that you can draw on each side. It has 8 sides, and as you can see here, I have a side called teaching. All right, essay and GBS. So when I'm teaching, when I'm preparing for class or anything, I will just switch this and put it on my desk. The second I do that, my laptop will start tracking that exact task. That task is called teaching for me, okay? And in this, I can see if I'm really struggling to get work at home, where do I spend most of the time, and how I could cut down the non-important things that I'm doing and actually focus on better things. So this, you can customize it yourself, right? So when I do my emails, when I do my Slack conversations, I do writing, I do write sometimes, lots of admin work, my tasks, general tasks, and so on. So this is connected Bluetooth to my laptop. Automatically, I switch it, I put it on the desk. That task or that category of task is being tracked. And it's great because it has reminders about, I think, 50 minutes. In the 51st minute, it reminds me, says, hey, you haven't taken a break.
Sorry,
right?
one
And
question.
when I see that, I'm like, oh, yes, please.
What's the dice called again?
Time Euler. You can see it on the screen. It's on the top
okay,
left.
yeah.
It's Time Euler. Yeah. Okay. And it comes with a software, and the software included in the package. And in that way, as I was mentioning, I saw what I'm spending the most time on. Basically, I'm spending too much time on calls. So I'm trying to cut down on my call time. But we're talking about breaks. Breaks are super important. And you can forget when you're home to take a break. When you're at work, in an office or in class, I know that everybody goes, hey, it's break time, and you take a break. But at home, it's so easily forgettable that you have to take a break. This reminds me, I take a break, I stop the dice, I put it on this little how do you call it, like a little place to hold. If it holds like that, that means that it's not tracking. The second that I just switch it on and I put it on my desk, it starts tracking time. Okay. And that really works well because I do a little consulting, so I can show my clients about it. I'm going to sneeze again. I apologize for that. If you don't know, it's because it's allergy times in Corona. There's lots of pollen in the air, and it's really killing me. But anyways, so the time tracking, some people would say, I don't have to track my time. I don't get paid by hours or so on. Even if you don't, it's a great analytics and insights to what you do day to day, week to week, month to month. And I really recommend it. I saw that, was it last week? I think I spent 26 hours on calls, on just Zoom calls. I was like, oh my God, you know, that 26 hours I could do tasks and so on. So then I visited, I saw the calls that I'm doing, and I was like 6 of the 6 hours of these calls were unnecessary. So I cut down. I said, guys, we don't have to have a meeting and a call for this. Just send me an email, send me a Slack message. And that gave me another 6 hours that I can do some productive work. Okay. If I didn't have such a tool, I wouldn't find these out. You'd be like, oh, I'm in too many calls, but maybe you're just in 5-hour calls and you don't know exactly the benefit and the value of these calls. So I do recommend such a tool for yourself. You can have an app version that is free on iPhone. You could have different tools, but this is my go-to tool, which is Time Euler. Okay. So just going back on the Zen Space, we spoke about these items. Okay. We are not going to speak about these items. All right. Because as mentioned, these items are not very unique to me or to my setup. It's really things that make it work, right? The MacBook Pro, a laptop, you need to have it anyways. But what I wanted to share, it's the number 10 because it makes me happy. And really, I have it just underneath my screen. It's my picture with my family, with my parents when I was very young. And it really gives me good energy. Why? Because that naughty me at that age, I was a very naughty kid. And I never believed that I would be teaching or a successful person in my career. And all my teachers said, oh, you'd be nothing in life. And my parents loved me, but they knew I was quite naughty. So that really reminds me of those days and what I've achieved since that naughtiness to now. I'm still naughty in the weekends, but not in the week. So I really recommend a family picture, a loved ones, your dog, your cat, or whatever, right? If you have them with you, it's easier. But if you don't have a picture on your desk, it really gives you positive energy. It really helps you get day to day in your work, especially when you're stuck at home. So quick tips on space and how to work from home and how to study from home. Put yourself some regular hours, okay? That's really important. Some people say, oh, you know, I don't have a meeting. I can wake up whenever I want. I can finish whenever I want and so on. And then you do get stuck like myself, which I've seen many times, where I work from 9 in the morning until 11 at night. And that's really not healthy for myself and for you neither. Okay, so try to put some regular hours. Say, you know, I want to work from 10 to 6, or I want to do this, and try to keep it that, because then you'll feel better. You won't feel isolated and so on. So regular hours is important. Morning routine doesn't mean that because we're at home with, and we're not going to the office or we're not going to school, doesn't mean that we should not have our morning routine. Okay, and really I do mention this because I have some students, maybe some of them are here. I apologize for that. They just come on a on the class call, and they just woke up, right? They just woke up 2 minutes before, or they even come, they're like, I just woke up, I can't put my camera on, let me go wash my face. It's like, yeah, that's great, but it's 11 o'clock. You know that you have class at 11 o'clock. Maybe you could start your morning routine at 10, right? You could have your breakfast, you could wash your face, and so on. So try to have a morning routine. And even when we finish the quarantine and we're going, a morning routine is very, very healthy for your personal and professional life. So I do recommend it for everybody. Ground rules. Try to put some ground rules. I try to put some ground rules with my girlfriend. She doesn't respect them all the time. But the ground rules, basically, if I'm on a call, is do not come to bother me. Do not talk to me while I'm on a call. You know, so these are some of my ground rules. There is a few others. So you see, you can put some of your ground rules. If you're living with others, you have a partner, sit down one day, put a pen and paper and say, these are the ground rules. From this time and this time, please do not put music. From this time and this time, do not come bother me. If I'm on a call, you see I have headphones on. Do not come and tap on my shoulder. I have headphones working, okay? So these rules are very important. So please think about your ground rules that you want to establish in your home. Scheduled breaks. We spoke about breaks. It's also great to schedule them, right? So my lunch hour is still my lunch hour. That would usually not change. On my calendar, people cannot book 1 to 2. 1 to 2 p.m. is my lunch hour. And I will take my full lunch hour. I will try my best usually. Okay. And why? That break is super important. If you were in an office or if you were in school, you have your break hour, your lunch break. You all love to take that 1 hour of lunch break, right? Or break at work. So why not do the same thing at home, right? The idea is to have the same attitude of being in an office, in a school, or at home. Okay. So schedule your breaks. Take those breaks, right? Because I know that we can schedule these breaks, and we have them scheduled. Like say, at 11, I take a 15-minute break. At 1, I have my lunch. At 3, I take another 15-minute break, right? A lot of people put that in their calendar, but they never take those breaks. So try to take them. Luckily, as I showed you, I have this terrace. So what I do is just open the door. I go sit under the sun, and then I can come back with amazing positive energy back to work or back to teaching. Leave home. Okay, so this one is a bit in these times. So obviously right now this is tough. So go on your terrace, balcony, window, rooftop, or walk an imaginary dog. Okay, walk an imaginary dog is basically imagine it's gonna be tough, but if you don't have a toy dog, you can also try to walk it. But go to your neighbor, say, hey, can I walk your dog? If you have some older neighbors as well, you can say, hey, I can walk your dog today. Right, that really works. A lot of people is doing that. The police stops you and they ask the dog's papers sometimes, so be careful. Right, just be sweet to the police, and maybe they'll let you off. So the other day we went to the cash point because we had some fruit and veg coming the next day. We did the mistake that we went out, 2 people, me and my girlfriend. We went to the ATM. We were happy. We had a bit of a walk because it's been like 2 months that we didn't have such a long walk. So it was a very far ATM that we chose on purpose. And on the way back, we're just crossing the road. 2 police bikes came and they asked where are we going. I was lucky I was close to home. I said, just there, this is my house. And then he got angry. He's like, where are you coming from? I was like, well, from the cash point. He's like, why the cash point? So I said, well, tomorrow I have fruit and veg delivered and so on. And he explained to me, he said, I understand, but you should not go 2 people because there's more risk, blah, blah, blah. So luckily I was very sweet to him. I explained everything. I didn't get a fine. Okay. If you're an asshole, you might get a fine. So try to be nice and you won't get a fine. Okay. And if you do have a space like a balcony or something, even a window, just open it, put your head out and spend 5 minutes there. That's going to give you a bit of fresh air. Dedicated office space, we spoke about it. This is very, very important. And again, I don't expect you to have a different room. I don't expect you to have a table, maybe even, you know, it's just like this side of the dinner table, it's my office space now, and that's my office, right? This side of my living room is where I eat, where I hang out. Try to have that attitude because dedicated office space, when you come to the space, I know it's work time, right? And when I go on my couch, I know it's a lazy time, right? You don't want to mix lazy time and the work time. That's a very bad no-no. Yeah. Socialize. And so we're going to look at it. Doesn't mean that because we were home, we know that everybody's on FaceTime now, on Zoom. I do a lot of Zoom calls. Also, we have this, house party. House party has some amazing games. They have a heads up, which we're not going to look at, but we could play at some point all together, hopefully. But we're going to look at a few other games that I have available for you guys. So socialize, you know, tell people, hey, Thursday night, shall we have some drinks over Zoom? You know, every Friday evening, I have something called after work sessions, and it's an open Zoom. You could even all join, right? It's an open Zoom that I share in a few communities, and people show up. And the other day, I met somebody new that had the virus. He was 4 days in the hospital. And until then, I never met somebody that had the virus, but this guy shows up on a Zoom call and he told us all about it, right? And we met this guy. That was great, you know. So try to socialize. That doesn't mean that you can't meet new people, okay? Show up, try to look okay. What do I mean by that? Is you have a class, make sure that you're showing up, make sure that your camera's on, and make sure that you are looking okay, right? Okay doesn't mean come in a suit, you know. Okay means just have some pants on, right? Have a t-shirt on and hopefully a washed face or something like that, awake, and open up your camera. Even if your teacher doesn't ask or your colleague that you have in a business meeting with doesn't ask, open, turn on the camera. That really connects you. That really starts connecting you with the person, okay? And right now we do need these connections because we're stuck at home on our own, okay? So please, please, please show up, and try to look okay. I'm not saying try look amazing. Try to look okay. Okay, you're gonna feel better as well. Believe me. So and then last but not least, end with the routine. So that's kind of like a whole day, right? You start with your morning routine. You do all your stuff. You show up. You're good. You socialize and stuff. And end of the day, have a routine. Okay. And my routine usually is that I'll do a Headspace. Headspace is an app where I do 10 minutes of meditation. I'll read something very quickly. I'll turn off the laptop and so on. That's my end of the day routine, where I'm like, oh, my work day, my studying day, my teaching day is over now. Now it's my personal time. Okay, that's really, really important. I'm still struggling with all of this. I don't think that I'm the best at all of this. I'm struggling, but I'm trying to follow these tips that I'm giving you guys. I'm trying to follow it myself. Okay, some people are noting there's going to be some recording. Carlota, it's nice to see you as well there. So Zoom, okay, we're on Zoom right now. Zoom is one of the top tools at the moment. I know there's been some security issues and everybody's like, oh yeah, but Zoom is selling your data. That changed. Zoom, about I think 30 days ago, they took on a 90-day challenge. That 90-day challenge is every week they're delivering some new security features. Okay, Zoom stock was really, really low. The virus obviously brought Zoom stock options very high, and the security thing was making a bit of a problem because people would prefer Google Meet, Google Hangout due to security. But that's Google; they already have all your data, so that doesn't even really matter. All right, so Zoom is now really up in the game in their security settings. So don't worry. Now, when I'm doing this call with you guys, I have a special tab now that says security. I know if any of you try to screen share, any of you try to do anything, I can allow you, I can disable it, I can lock the meeting so that you can't do anything, I can remove it, I can report you, and so on. These are very, very important security features introduced by Zoom just recently, and every week they're going to introduce more and more settings. Okay, so Zoom for president for me. Okay, and why Zoom? Why Zoom? Because Zoom has some amazing features that we forget about. Okay, so let's talk about some of these features. Auto schedule meetings. We just did this like with Valeria. Okay, so we scheduled some meetings and we automatically scheduled all the Tuesdays that I'm teaching, all the Thursdays that I'm teaching. It's the same link. It's all there. Okay, so that's recurring meetings. So when I say auto schedule can be also that is connected to your Calendly. And Calendly is a little tool where you can show your calendar. You send the link and you're like, hey, just book a meeting, right? And they'll available time and they'll book it. So you don't have to have these 10 emails. It takes about 8 to 10 emails, I think. Oh, how about Thursday 2 p.m.? I know I can't do Thursday p.m. What about Thursday 4 p.m.? No, I can't do Thursday 4 p.m. What about Friday? This takes 30 minutes of your time, right? And it's painful, right? And thanks to Zoom, you don't have to have that. And the recurring meetings, I'm new to the recurring meetings. They're absolutely amazing. We just did it, as I said, with Valeria for the classes. I'm so happy because they're all booked up. All the students know where to join and stress-free. Okay, so you can do that with Zoom. Record the call as a video. All right, so I forget that a lot, and Rosanna and Valeria will remind me that. So apologies for that. I'm trying my best. Now I have them on auto record, so I won't forget them. Okay, so basically, if you do have a meeting, a brainstorming session, a session with your group, you're doing a class project, you're teaching, whatever you're doing, if you record it and then you forget something, you can always come to the recordings. I know that the cloud recording of Zoom is only 1 gig, which is not enough, but you can change the settings to have local recordings, so you record it on your own laptop. I really, really think that it's very important because I have some students don't show up. Even at work sessions, I have last minute somebody will say, hey, I can't make it to the meeting. I'm in another meeting and I can't finish, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't worry, we have a recording. You can watch it and you can catch up. That really works well. Mute your audio and turn off your camera by default. Okay, so every time my students, especially I do this because of the students or thanks to the student, when 20 students show up suddenly, okay, I have a setting that my audio and camera will be off, but my setting also makes everybody's audio off, not their cameras, but their audio off. Why? Because they're just connecting, they're still shouting, there's still music in the background. It can become super, super chaotic. So some settings, you can really go on them, and then you can really adjust and personalize these settings to say, hey, you know, my audio should be on, their audio should not be on in the beginning. So I on them, I do this. You have a waiting room where you can let people wait until you're ready, right? So they're all there and you're getting ready. You're preparing your screen share. Maybe you're preparing your shirt, as we said, you know, or maybe you're going to dress up finally, right? So you can do all of that before accepting people inside the actual meeting. There's a waiting room. So the Zoom settings are gold. Please do visit them. But these are some of my favorites that we're going to talk about. oh, this one is really gold, so I can even do it now. So I'm gonna mute myself with Apple, I think it's Apple Shift A. Okay, that's the shortcut to mute. So I was muted, just pressing, holding the spacebar right now when I'm talking. And I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna leave my finger from the spacebar. And I was muted automatically. So I'm always muted, only I have to hold the spacebar to speak. This is great in big meetings where maybe you're not gonna have 10 minutes of talking and you're just gonna come in for a question. This is great for such calls, right? Or I'm muted and you wanna talk for like a couple of seconds to ask a question, you press the spacebar, you talk, you leave it and you're muted. So I did the same thing. I did Apple Shift A and now I completely unmuted myself. These are little tricks that today maybe you're like, ah, they're silly tricks. I can mute it with my mouse on the screen and so on. When you learn these little tricks, it changes your life. When I'm in big calls, we're like all hands meeting with 30 employees, I'm always muted. I press the space bar, I'm like, oh yeah, this is my turn and I'm speaking, and I just leave the mute bar. I know that the space bar, I know that I'm muted. I know that I can have my music in the background and I can have people even shouting in the house. I'm muted, right? This is super important. Some of the other things that I really love is react with emoji on screen. Some people forget about this, but it is gold. You can, right now, on the bottom of your screen, right, you have reactions. With reactions, you can, yeah, exactly, right? So thumbs up, right? Everybody, that means that I know that you're listening. I know that you're good. You're like, yeah, I'm listening. It's good, right? A lot of congratulation things. You can do the claps. It's good. Somebody announces something. Somebody did a great project or so on. You just clap. Okay, exactly, Ressa. Thank you so much for the claps. Okay, so these kind of things really makes you communicate and interact, but without maybe taking the microphone and starting to speak. It's just like, well done, that was great, you know, or clap. So when my students press something like that, I won't unmute every time I say, oh, that's great. No, I'll just send them a clap. I'll send them a thumbs up. And in business meetings, that's usually like, does anybody have anything to say? Did they understand? Yeah, good. Everybody understood. So we know there is no problem. Okay. There is some extra things that you can do. If you go on participants in the bottom, you can raise your hand. If you do raise your hand, that's great, because I know that you do want to speak. Okay, so when I stop, I'll be like, oh, this person raised their hand. So I'll give you the microphone, like I'll unmute you and I'll make sure that it's your time to speak. Okay, these are little things that really makes everybody's lives easier. Everybody's lives easier. The teachers, the business, usually there's a meeting note taker and so on, and these people, they really appreciate these little things that we think about. Learn handy keyboard shortcuts, we spoke about it. There's a few other, okay, right now for me is Apple Shift A and spacebar, but there's so many others, like the screen share. I think it's Apple Shift S or something, and it will start the screen share, it will stop the screen share and so on. You could actually take a little notepad, put some of the shortcuts that you like for a week, have that notepad next to you. You know, think about it when you're going to do something, check the shortcut, do it with a shortcut. After a week, you're automatically going to have that shortcut. So these two shortcuts, which are the silliest ones, but they're the ones that are very important for me. And hopefully you can find some shortcuts that really help you. Turn on gallery view. Some people forget. Okay, I have a lot of students or in business meetings. They're like, I can only see you. Who else is in the meeting? So don't forget, on the top right, always on the top right, you have a gallery view. Okay, you have speaker view or gallery view. These are super important. Google Meet didn't have this. Google Hangout didn't have this. So there was an extra Chrome extension to do that. But I think last week they just announced that they also have grid view now because they want to compete with Zoom, right? So the grid view is gold. I think 95 to 99% of my meetings are always in grid view, right? Because I want to see everybody. So you're on my side. That's why I have the screen here. So I can see everybody in little boxes. I know that you're all there. You know, I know people typing. I see people listening and so on. This is really important. Have a collaborative annotation session, right? So I'm showing this, okay? And I want to see if you guys can do any annotations on the top, on the Zoom setting. Maybe Valeria can annotate. On the top, you have next to pause share. You have something called annotate. Let's see. It's a bit of a workshop. I'm going to try to involve some of you if you're okay with it. Here we go. right? So here we go. She's annotating. She's put the little thing. She's like, hey, look, we're talking about this. That's great. Okay. So you can have a mouse instead of a text, a draw. So you can draw things as well. So you could just draw like this. Yeah, exactly. Right. So this is great. I'm showing something exercise, right? And you all want to pitch in. You can annotate. You could do different colors. Hey, I'm going to be pink. I'm going to be orange. And you can highlight things in design and so on. Yeah, the green little checks are great as well. Check, I understand. Check, I understand this one. That's perfect. Let's continue. It's easy. I can press clear all drawings. Boom, all my drawings are gone. I'm back to the normal mode, right? So these are little things that are up. Oh, somebody said hi. So I can clean that as well if I do want. Boom, hi, thank you for the hi, but I've cleaned that. Okay, so these are little things, but that really help a lot again. Use remote control when necessary. So we did that yesterday with Valeria, and she was like, wow. And, and actually, this is great because how many times you have somebody that has a problem, they can't do something on a computer, or they have a software, they're like, oh, yeah, no, it's there. It's there, look on the right. You have that button, you have to do this, scroll down. I've heard this so many times, okay? But now you have this option. Let's Valeria again. Sorry, Valeria, I'm going to keep saying it to you because you can. So what you could do remote control. Actually, let me, if you can ask me remote control, I will accept it. Did you? It's on the top.
Now, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So remote control. So now, if you click on the side of the thing of the presentation, you can go around with the mouse so that we can see your mouse. Yeah, here we go. So this is not me right now, right? So Valeria is controlling actually my computer, right? So I'm going to go back. Sorry. Yeah. So Valeria is controlling my computer. All right. I'm going to stop her from controlling my computer because she did something there. Okay. No. Boom. That's it. All right. So remote controlled it's really, really nice. Let me just make sure that she's off. Yes, she's off. Okay. So remote control is really key. Okay. Why is it key? Again, it's for support. It's for when you're stuck with something and you're trying to show something and you can't do it. Yesterday, the example was we were doing Valeria's or ESEI Zoom settings, and I was like, oh, it's there. She couldn't find it. I was like, hold on, let me take control of it. I took control. I was able to scroll down. I was able to change her settings. I was able to control her computer like it's my computer, and I could see it. And that was great. And she was like, oh, thanks. You know, and I was able to solve that right away. Okay, this is great when you work as a group, right? This is great when you teach. This is great when any Zoom call that you're doing, remote control can be really, really useful. And also this goes, I guess, for the IT people, you want some support, you can't do something, just put remote control. So that was some little Zoom tips, okay? So Zoom, I had them all tipped like that because I cannot actually share screen and show you all the Zoom settings at the same time. That's one of the tricks about Zoom is when you share a screen, it doesn't show its own little things, which is great, actually, but it's not good for such a presentation. So I had to put down in words and bullet points. But now we're going to do a bit more workshoppy, which I'm going to show you some actual software where we're going to dig and do a little quick exercise to see how we can use these software for our benefit. So Miro is a new tool that I found out. Okay, I'm really new to Miro myself. It was, I think, 4 weeks ago. And since I found out, it's been my go-to tool with lots of colleagues, with lots of people, even with students. Miro is a digital whiteboard, as mentioned before. So let's look at Miro. So this is a brand new Miro. Okay, reconnecting, boom. Okay, so this is a brand new Miro, so it's empty, right? I'm at 1% zoom level, as you can see on the bottom right. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's go to 1%, all right? So I have all this is a whiteboard, and actually it's an endless whiteboard. So I can go down, down, it won't stop. It's an endless whiteboard, so you can get lost as well. But what's great about it, boom, you can just go sticky note, all right? So test note, okay, and you can start doing some sticky notes everywhere, right? So you can be like, all right, I'm gonna brainstorm, I have to, no, you can do that, right? So this is great. I'll zoom out. So this will become a little side just to the whole thing, okay? And you could continue. So I've been working on here, Valeria maybe is working on here, okay? And we can all brainstorm together. We can see each other's work. And what's great is if I had somebody else on here, I would see their mouse live. I would see their work live, okay? And on the top where it says share, I would have your faces, okay? And I would see if I click on, let's say, Valeria's little icon there, I would, boom, be taken on where she's working in the whiteboard, okay? And I could do this with everybody that is collaborating on this whiteboard. And this whiteboard it doesn't end on here. Why? What I love is they have some amazing templates, okay? So as teachers or as work, we add things, okay? You wanna do a customer journey map, you wanna do a product roadmap, or you just wanna brainstorm, right? You come use cases, brainstorming, you wanna do mind map, brainwrite, a concept map, whatever you wanna do. The second that you choose it, okay, let's try to do like a journey map. So I'm gonna add that. That's a little template. Okay, yeah, so I'm very zoomed. Here we go. So I have this template that is already on here, okay? And I even know, they've even said how this template works. It's 48 people, 15 time preparation, 90 minutes, and we can together do this journey, right? So we could work on it. You could work on some of the touch points. I could be working on here, and this will be all live. Again and again, I need to repeat that. It's all live. It's all synced in real time, okay? And another thing that I'm going to show on here, it's on the bottom left. As you can see, we have voting. So if I said, how do you like this design? I could open up voting, all right? So this is the upgrade version because I have too many things, but on the free version, you can have that as well, right? So people can vote and you can say, yeah, that's good. That design is not good and so on. Also, what's amazing is the video chat, right? You don't even have to be on Zoom. If you say tomorrow we have 1 hour brainstorming session together, or we're working on our project for our master's final project, what you could do is you could actually say, let's meet at 4 p.m. on Miro. On 4 p.m., everybody joins the Miro, the same board, and you can here do video call. Right, boom, you do, again, upgrade because I'm over my limits, okay? But if I click that, I would have all your little faces on the left here, like Zoom, but you would be inside Miro, okay? And we wouldn't even need a Zoom call plus Miro. We could all work on Miro, right? I think this is gold for students. This is gold for any kind of brainstorming sessions. A lot of people and a lot of CEOs that I speak to, they're like, I don't like everybody's working from home because we can't be creative, they say. They say we can't just be like, oh, I have an idea, come and go on a whiteboard. That's what they say. And now I tell them, no, you have Miro. Miro has a mobile app, has an iPad app, has actually a laptop app, and it has an online version, right? So there's no excuse on not being able to collaborate together, right? So this goes for all the students who always says as well, oh yeah, with my group, we can't really work together because we don't see each other. Whiteboard. That excuse is gone now. Now that you know this, it's gone. Okay. I apologize again for my allergies. It's killing me, this allergy. So basically, Miro is going to help that gap of not being able to work together at the same time. Okay. And on the left, you're going to have lots of options, which is from text to so again, you can connect things, you can have a pen, you can comment on things. First is something that I really love. I'm not going to show you every feature because then we would have just an hour session on Miro. It's very, very advanced. There's so many features, but I love frames. Why do I love frames? I'm working on this here, okay? So I'm going to do, this is my frame, okay? So I'm going to create this little frame. Ooh, my mouse went a bit crazy, okay? But this frame, I'm also going to call this frame working on, okay? So this is really good. I have these frames, okay? You can create your own little frames in this way. So what happens is when you open the frames menu, I know that Tim is working on here, and anybody else could have their own space or your own work that you created, or you can separate the work in categories. You can say, this is the introduction, this is the idea 1, idea 2, and you can separate, you can categorize these. And what's great is that if I'm somewhere else on the whiteboard, okay, and I'm like, oh, I was going to look at that, boom, it takes me to that space, okay? So you can think about it as a whiteboard with lots of little whiteboards that you can put inside, and that's called frames, okay? I think this is gold, and I absolutely love frames. So what else do we have on here? We have different apps. You can do a Google image search from here. You can have a Kanban board, a mind pad. You can actually have your post-its on your wall, right? In real sticky notes. With your camera, you're actually able to sticky capture. What does that mean? You open sticky capture, you open your camera, you go on your wall, it will capture all the sticky notes. It will bring them here. And you know what? It also digitizes the text usually. It tries. Okay, so that's absolute gold. Right. So again, you want to work on a website. I have a project for some of my students. They're working on an e-commerce website and they want to show their website. They want to do this. They can just do web page capture. So if I do a web page capture and I put the URL, it's going to capture that page and I'll be able to put it somewhere on my whiteboard. And then maybe have that and I want to align it. I'm like, okay, that page is talking to this, you know, and I can do this kind of stuff and so on. There's so many things that I can do on here. Right, and it doesn't even end on a presentation mode, right? I can just get rid of it and I'm getting rid of everything. I'm just presenting to my teacher, to my colleague, well, my findings. I can do that. And I know that a lot of people have different comments about different things. So you can have even comments here. You can have little notes, little comments. And if I do have a comment, I can mention my colleague. And if my colleague shows up in a different time and sees the comment and does the job, that's resolved. Okay, so it's like a doc at the same time. But why is it amazing? Is because you can do asynchronous actually work. What does that mean? Is that you could be working. I wake up very early. I'm going to work on my final project, 2 hours. Boom, boom, boom. I work on here. Maybe my classmates, my group mate, whatever, does it in a different hour. And then he can come in, he can catch up on the comments and so on. And he can continue the work, even if we're not at the same time, at the same place. This is gold. So also, again, you have a chat, typical. You have these little note cards as well. You have so many things that really, I can just share the screen, thumbs up, voting, as I mentioned, and then I can also see the activity of everybody. So this is also great. You can go, you can say, oh, what did Valeria do in this whiteboard? Let me see. Oh, she added the shape. She did this at this hour. Then I know exactly what she worked on, how she did it. Okay, it's a little timeline. Miro. It changed my life. I feel like I could stay at home for 10 years now, okay, minimum, because I can actually have a whiteboard. I love whiteboards, right? I do have a whiteboard, but because I don't have the space on the walls, I hide it and I have to take it, work on it, and then hide it again. But now I don't because I have a digital whiteboard and it works really well. So again, I really recommend you to check it, all the notes, all the little things. A lot of people will do it differently. But again, on the notes, you can do a meeting agenda. You could say, hey, I'm going to present this to my teacher. What do you do? Okay, my meeting agenda is this. And then you can always have the meeting notes on the side. And you can continue your work, your presentation, and so on. Okay, this is a little tour of Miro. So if you have any questions about Miro, I'll try to even take him now if it's quick. If not, note down your questions. We have a Q&A session at the end. And we can revisit Miro together if needed. Yeah?
I think we have one question in the chat from Nastya. She says that she used Mural for this. Do you know the difference between Miro and Mural?
Yeah, Mural is incredible because Mural has an amazing pro, is that Mural has a lot of methodology frameworks. So Mural has many more of these templates that we saw. Mural has many more than actually Miro. But what is Miro much better at? The UX, the usability is much better. The applications, the phone app, the iPad app, and so on for me is great because I like to work a lot on my iPad. Why? Because if I have Miro plus my iPad plus a pen, it's a whiteboard. All right. So Mural is incredible. I'm not gonna say Miro is better or not. Miro is more for me. Some people use Mural. I had somebody who was using Mural. This is one of the teachers at ESEI, actually, Antoine, and he got into Miro and he ditched Mural. He was like, oh, I'm going Miro. It's more user-friendly, has more features to collaborate together at the same time in real time and so on. It's a bit more advanced than Mural in that side, but it's missing a lot of the actual content that Mural has. So what we start doing with Antoine is we went to Mural and we start copying the templates into Miro. So we recreate those the Miro, and we're making our own Miro more stronger with all these frameworks, methodologies. So if you're using Miro, I'm not going to tell you don't use it. Test out Miro, see what you couldn't do in Miro, if you can do it in Miro, and try to compare them, see what's better for you, right? So Miro, another great tool, right? So I will highlight that. Guys, please do check out Miro as well. M-U-R-A-L, if I'm not mistaken, and Miro. These tools are kind of the same tools. So we saw Miro. So next up, I have one of my life-changing tools. Does anybody know what Notion is? Anybody know Notion? Good. Okay, that's great. So everybody's going to find out. I like that. So Notion is software that I visited about, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And 3 or 4 years ago, everybody was talking about it. And I couldn't make it work for myself. I was like, oh, this is too technical. This is too difficult. And I couldn't. 3 years after, I tried it again. And now, the day that I tried it, I didn't sleep for 3 days. Okay, everybody's like, this guy's crazy. I didn't sleep for 3 days because I started watching YouTube videos of people's Notion. And when I say people's Notion, now I'm going to show you my Notion. That Notion took days to build. Okay, but now it's my second brain, as we call it. Okay, and you will see why. A lot of people on YouTube do these sessions, how they show their Notion, what do they do with Notion, how to set up, what they've set up. A lot of people share their templates. Notion is a great little community now of super hyper productive people, or people who are trying to be hyper productive. I'm going to show you why. So get ready, because this is my personal Notion. I hope that there's not going to be any sensitive information. If there is, please forget about it. Okay. All right. After this call, you're going to forget all about this. All right. That's not good, though. You're not going to learn anything. So anyways, Notion. Boom. Hello. Welcome to my Notion. I'll let you explore a little bit, because I see some faces that are zooming in right away. So I'll let you explore very, very quickly. So you've explored a bit. You're like, wow, there's so much on there. It's crazy. What's going on here, right? Okay, so that's Istanbul, first of all. I think Sem would recognize that, okay? So that's the Istanbul Bridge. So I put a cover there to make me feel like home, because this is my home, okay? This is my digital home, let's call it. So I put a little picture. You can put whatever picture you want. You can actually change the cover, right? And even have an unsplash, so you can find whatever you want. Very personal. Here, I have a little quote that I like: track the past, order the present, and design the future, okay? Which works really well with Notion's methodology. So I track everything that I've done, all my past, I put it here. I order the present, okay? Right now, what I'm doing, I order them nicely and stuff like that. And here I design my future. I design what I want to study next, what I want to learn next, where I want to go. Gym, if you want to do sports stuff, you can design everything on here. You can design your future on here, okay? So here I did a silly thing. This is ZM URL. If you don't know it, check it out. It's great for Zoom, because it can create little Zoom events where you can get people's email addresses. You can make paid Zoom events as well and stuff like that. So I put that on here as a quick link, because it's very important for me, because I use Zoom a lot lately, especially. So I click on here and it into the link. But here, what you're going to see, something called inbox, agenda, and a quick note. This is a button. Okay, so let's say that I'm in a meeting or something like that, or something comes to my mind and I want to take a quick note. I just press on quick note, and quick note is going to create me a page of my quick note. Boom, that's my quick note. This is a template, okay? So it's like I would embed things and so on. This is not very custom, this quick note, but I can customize it. If I customize it on here, every time I click quick note, it's going to create, again, that same exact template, right? So if I did take my note, I'll put it on my draft, okay? So for now, I'm going to delete it. I know it looks a bit scary, Notion. It's normal. I was very scared about it as well. But after 2-3 days, I really, really am in love with it. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to do a couple use cases. I'm going to do one student use case, okay? Maybe a teacher use case or a professional use case, so that you can see how you can use this, the power behind it, okay? So here, I've separated things with personal life, profile, resources, marketing, finance. And on here, I have my 3 most important. So what are my 3 most important things? I read a lot. I find a lot of things online, Okay, so if you go on my inbox, I hope there's nothing dodgy here. Okay, but here you have all my reading material. So there's a little Chrome extension of Notion. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, this is my save to Notion. I'm on a page, I don't have time to read it, I want to read it after, or I love what I read and I want to take some things from it. I press save to Notion, boom, it comes to my inbox. It's here, right? So boom, I can open it, all right? It's like save to Pocket, save to Evernote kind of stuff, but everything comes to your Notion. So this was a growth hacking 100 hack strategies and technologies on a blog on Wishbone, okay? I press save to Notion, I have everything. From images to the whole text is all here. The whole post is on here. All these 100 hacks are here. So I can do whatever I want with them now, right? I can customize it. I can copy them. I can do whatever I want with it, which is great, right? Also, what's great about this is that I didn't have time yet, but you can start creating some tags. You can say, oh, this is a list, right? This is because it's 100 hacks. Oh, this is a video that I want to keep. This is a video, right? This is great because you can tag your stuff, make a methodology about it. And what's even better is that you could always put some filters. I only want to see my video stuff, right? So I'm going to do tags, contains, video. I only have one tag that's video, I think, right? All my videos that I saved are going to be on here. Okay, this is gold. This is extremely gold. Maybe now you don't realize it. After 2-3 days of not sleeping, you're going to come back to me and be like, wow, man, you know, I'm addicted. It's worse than any drug that you've seen, okay? Which is great because it's productivity drug, okay? So it's going to help you make it more productive, more successful in personal life, in career, in school, in anything you want. Believe me, it will. You can get lost a bit in the beginning, so be patient. What also great about it is that I can change the sorting however I want and so on. But you're like, oh, that's okay. It's just like a spreadsheet. All right, let's see. Okay, so all the video stuff, I want to actually have them on my homepage. Okay, so only the ones that I tagged as video. So I'm going to go on here. Okay, I'm just making a bit of space just for this exercise. I'm going to do /. When I do /, it brings me all the settings, all the things that I can embed, that I can create, and I can put on here. Okay, great. What you saw before, that spreadsheet, we call it database. Okay, so I have database of my inbox, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a linked database. All right, so that's great. It's going to ask me which database. All right, so I'm going to go, it's in my inbox if I'm not mistaken, and it's inbox data. Okay, so right now it's building the same database. It's actually not even building, it's relating it. Okay, so if you see a little arrow next to something, if I click on it, I will go to the original database, which you saw before, right? So I have two items, one tagged as list, one as video. And as I mentioned here, I only want to have my videos, like we did before, the filter. Okay, but here, what's going to be the difference is that if I do that on here, everything that I do video will be here, but my inbox hasn't changed. Okay, what do I mean by that? If I go back to the original item, it's all on here. The same way how the messy database that I put everything, but I just want to take my video stuff. I want to take only things for class business intelligence because I tagged it business intelligence and I'm in business intelligence. I just want to take those reading materials that I've tagged. Okay, so this is great. Okay, because if you do go back, let's go back to my home. As you've seen, the filter hasn't changed here. And another great thing is here, if I create something new, it automatically tags it as video, and it will also put it on the original database, but it will be automatically tagged as video, okay? Because that's my filter here. And I can have a different sorting here, a different filter, a different search, but they are the same database. Anything you update here will update there. Anything you update there will update here. This is gold, okay? And why do I say that? Because if you can see, I have my home, but then I have something else called data. So data, I have my inbox, as you see. I have something as I call tools of the trade, which I'll give you a little glimpse because this makes a lot of people crazy. It's all the softwares in the world, almost, all right? Almost. Let's see if it's going to load. It takes some time. This is a list of almost all the tools in the world, okay? Because I consult, somebody wants to do something about something. They want to do planning and project management. I have all the planning and project management tools that I know. They're all here. All right, everything's on here, business traffic analytics and so on. So for me to teach a class is quite easy, not easy, But it's like, okay, I'm teaching business intelligence. I'll go boom on my category, business and traffic analytics or something like that. I will have a list of all my software that might fit that class. Right? And I could have that the same as resources, my inbox. On my inbox, I have a lot of material that I save during the week for a class or something like that. And if I tag them right, the second that I want to do a class about something, I'm like, boom. And I have every resource I've saved about that. This is really, really, I mean, it makes me really happy, this thing. And why? Because you can have different, right? So that was a table view that we saw. Now we're going to have a gallery view. It's going to take some time, but bam. If I had some images inside, you'd have this gallery view. You could even do a list view, or you can add a new view and you can make it a calendar view. So this right now, maybe it sounds complicated, but apologies. Calendar view is great. When you create tasks and you do calendar view, you have a calendar. So we'll look at that very quickly as well. But I'll go back to my table view. Okay. So actually, people would pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of just to have this list. But this is my personal list, and that makes me a better consultant, better person to hire, because I come with my tools of the trade. Okay. So again, just looking at why did I separate the databases, you understood, because there's a raw database of everything, and then I can filter them in different places. All right. So a few other things, right? These are things that maybe I want to learn. So I go on education. I have learning goals, and I have CXL, which I'm studying. Right, so if I go CXL, I did the class online on CXL, okay, and I have all the classes here, okay. So let's see, it was lesson number 12, okay, it was marketing management on CXL. I have the whole lesson is on here, right? So this is great for you guys as well. The assignments, everything's on here. So if I want to revisit, I'm like, oh, I forgot that certificate I took. I can come on here and I can have all my material. So we're going to look at a use case for students, because I think that's a super important notion, how you can use it for students. All right, so let's look at that very quickly. All right, so I'm a student. Okay, I'm going to create a new page on my private area. Okay, so I've created a new page. So Notion works as page, and inside the page you can put another page, another page, another page, another page. Is infinite. Because it's infinite, it's a bit scary. So try not to go down too many levels. Okay, and try to have kind of a methodology for your own work. Okay. But pages are incredible, okay? So let's say that we are taking business intelligence, yeah? So that's one of the classes I'm teaching. So we're going to take business intelligence. If I can type, today I can't type. Usually when I have allergies, I forget how to type. So templates, okay? There are some amazing templates. Again, this goes always back to what I said. Don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already there. Volkswagen doesn't make their own wheels, right? Their tires, they go and they buy it from Bridgestone, right? So don't do that. So come on here, right? Let's say education. You're a student. Oh, that's great. You know what I want to do? What I'm going to do is what I love, a classroom home. Okay, so it's going to do this. I'm going to use this template. It's going to create that template. Boom, that's my new classroom home. Okay, so I'll delete this because I don't like that. Okay, I will put the name of the teacher. It's me, let's say, right? And the class was EI 0 blah 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 055, let's call it. The syllabus is here, the course schedule is here, any required text is here, assignments, sections. If there was contacts of Rosanna, Valeria, myself, or whatever, you can have them on here. You could have all your weekly schedule of your classes on here, and so on. And if you do go in syllabus, you have already a template that usually your teacher would give you if they would work on Notion. I'm not yet doing that. I'm doing it for myself, on how to teach, okay? But I'm going to test this out with one of my classes because I give them so many docs and I don't have a centralization for the docs. So I'm going to do a page like this. And what's great is that I share this page and I can share it publicly or privately, okay, as a website. And they won't have access to anything else. They'll just have access to this page. So all my students could have access to this, and they'll have how my course works, what reading material for the course, the schedule, and so on, like the syllabus that you have, right? But you can customize it for your own. And what do I mean by customize it? Is if I change things around here, let's say I really don't want to have a weekly schedule, right? Like that's too much for me. I really don't need it. You know, I'll delete these, right? And actually I can start customizing this as a template, okay? And what's great is because I've customized it, right? And I keep it on my templates, maybe I'll show you that in a second. What I could do is, since I'm a student that takes a lot of classes, All right, I'm going to do something called button. Okay, this is a template button. Every time I click, which you saw in my notes, every time I click a button, it will create me a classroom home. It will create that template that I worked on. So here, what I could do, I could say it's not a to-do, it's a link to page. Okay, which page? Classroom home. Okay, and it's add a new classroom. Classroom. Let's make a space there. Okay, so this is my add a new classroom. All right, so I'll close that. Perfect. So I have this secretly hidden here. Okay, like my quick note, if you remember. Right. So now if I press add a new classroom, I'm taking, it's a new semester. I'm taking two classes. I press add my new classroom, add new classroom. I wait a second. Boom, I have a new classroom from that same template. Okay, and I can change anything here. It's not going to change to one. But you remember, I did BI 55, so it's not like template. Instead, I would write here. I didn't catch that. Not series, sorry. A class name. So you could really customize how you work, how you study, how you want to do things. And with just buttons, bam, I create a new classroom. I create a new project, whatever I want. I think this is huge for students, for teachers. It's huge for any professionals. And I'll show you some professional examples if you want. But Notion, again, it's something that you can spend, I think, a year every day on it. So let's not make it too complex. To be honest with you, I tried to use Agenda. I don't use it on here. I prefer my Fantastica, but I'll show you what I can do, which I set up this way. So if I had tasks, they would be here. My monthly, okay, so every month's weeks, they would be here. What do I mean by that? Add a new week. As you can see, so there's a plus button. So this is a template. So when a week starts, usually on a Sunday, what I'll do is I'll do add a new week. That will create my new week. Okay. Usually I will call this, it'll be, let's say, the week number. I do normally week number 15, let's say it's week 15, right? And then I put April 1st to 7th or whatever, right? 1st to 7th. So I know that's for that. Okay, when you're screen sharing and stuff is a bit slower, sorry about that. Okay, so this week I have these milestones, I need to get this done, but as you can see, it's created a whole space for me, right? It's created even my habit tracker. I've customized this because I do want to do networking, I want to do music, I want to learn, I want to do sports, and I want to do headspace. That's my weekly habit tracker. And then on a Sunday, I would do, before I start a new week, I would do my weekly reflection, right? So how did it go? Describe this week in 3 words. Apologies again for that. Productivity, emotion, and so on. Okay, so you can customize this however you want. Really, it could be your space. And this is why I said it took me 2-3 days of craziness of not sleeping, because I was like, wow, I can do this as well, and I can do that. So much you can do. Don't get lost in it. Do a simple version, build on top of it. Okay, so I did a version and I'm trying to slowly build on top of it. Okay. So also, I'm not going to show the details in this, but all your finance, but your spreadsheets and everything can live inside your monthly budget, your subscription tracker. That's very important for me because I pay a lot of software, as you see, right? My finance tracking, which I will put from Kaisha. Maybe I'll even download the CSV and I'll upload the CSV on there. So I'll have all my transactions and I can analyze them. I can do whatever I want with them, right? This is super important for me, right? And same way, you're going to have so many things, right? If you go content calendar, I don't think I have much on there right now. Yes, I do have some. This is, right? But I want to change it to see, you know, a launch calendar, what's been launched, okay? Or what has to be launched or what's published, okay? Boom, these are published. All right, so you can do these different views of the same information, but you can view them in different formats, in different views. Any questions? I mean, there could be so many questions on Notion. I'm worried about that. So maybe don't ask exactly how you can do something, but you can ask if I can do this or not. And I'll tell yes and no. And then maybe you can go and find out if you do have some questions. Or at the end, come with some use cases and we can show in the Q&A. But what you will see is I'm still working on this, but teaching. On my profile, I have something teaching. I have the both schools that I'm teaching, ESEI and GBS. I even put some students. I know that you're not all this young, so maybe I should find a better picture, right? But again, if I go ESEI, I know that these are the classes I taught, and the rest I'm still putting on here. But look what's great here. Log into Canvas. So I don't have to find the login every time. Every time that I'm teaching ESEI, I open my Notion, I have all my things, and it's called Login for LMS. I press it, it will log into my Canvas. right? So everything centralized, right? So digital marketing strategy and technologies, business online I taught, and now I'm doing business intelligence. So I need to do a new page for business intelligence, and I would build the same idea about business intelligence, right? So this is great because when you see how many things I'm doing, and everybody asks me like, Tim, how are you doing so many things? I didn't know neither. Before I couldn't sleep, I was very stressed. Now I'm a bit more comfortable because my consulting is all on here, my speaking, because I'm a speaker as well, my growth mentor, I'm a mentor at growthmentor.com, my teaching, and any other side projects. I put this as profile, but my life, my objectives and key results that I want to achieve, my food prep, my travel plans. Right now, obviously, I should make this red possibly because that's really, we're not traveling anywhere. So you can change the background of something that's red now. I know that's, you know. So everybody's zooming in a little bit. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. If I wanted to have a one less column, I pull everything out. That would readapt itself to 3 columns. Okay, it's very modular. So it's all blocks that you can bring in. And any block that you want to bring in or anything, it's really, everything is about that, forward slash, and I'm going to add a new page. Boom, this is a new page. Okay, so I have a new page to work on, right? So we saw Miro, right? Amazing. I'm doing a group project. I'm working on Miro. I'm going to come here. I'm going to put Miro. Boom, I'm going to put the link of my Miro board, and it's going to be here live. I'm going to have the Miro board. So we're always working on the same thing together on this project. My Miro board is embedded and so on. Okay. And just to finish off a bit, this forward slash is text, page, to-do lists, headings, bulleted, numbers, toggles, quotes, link to other pages, call outs, mention a person, a page, tables, databases, as we were talking, calendars, boards, galleries, lists, whatever you want to do. Images, I want to put a video, I want to embed a YouTube, I want to embed audio, I want to code, I want to put some files, I want to put my Google Drive, I want to put my Twitter embeds, yeah, I want to do a map. Whatever you want to do, you possibly will find it here, right? You will all find it here. And they're building embeds, new embeds every day. So this is super powerful. Okay, so I could show you this for hours and hours and hours, but just to finish on Notion, here I have my personal space. That's me, Tim Cakir, right? I have Planet of the Vapes is one of my clients, right? So they have their space, which is shared between all the employees there, 9 members at the moment, because we're slowly onboarding people. But if I come here, that's the company's POTV home, their marketing, their growth, their teams, everything, and even their dashboard, a live dashboard from Databox will be embedded here, and you can have the real metrics of the whole company. Right, so this is a way of showing you how companies can build it. I have another client, Amenities have their space. These are their side projects. So if you don't want to mix everything up, I would do your personal space, and maybe you can do one for school or one for your work or one for your gym or whatever hobby or aspirations you have. You can build it all on here. So that's a bit Notion. Create your own templates, customize everything, make buttons. You can just click everything and it just creates it for you. That's I think the biggest power that it has, is that when you create a template, you don't have to do it again. I have some use cases of a friend who is a consultant. He comes from an engineering background, so he's a bit crazy. And what I mean by that is he's built everything. When a client calls him and says, oh, maybe I want to work with you, he has a template of all the questions to ask, where to put the answers, how to do it, how to price. And then whatever project he takes on board, if it's a web, whatever, bam, he has a template for that. And he will create the whole space with all the tasks. And the guy is saving hours and hours and hours every time he takes a new client or a new project or a new task. Like, that's my dream. I want to get there, you know, where I have a new speaking slot, you know, somebody says, come do a workshop. It can be a workshop. Boom. I have, how long? Ask me how long, who's the people, what are the slides, and I can have everything on there. I could even have some resources of best public speaking practices, right? That every time I create of this workshop, I have these resources there as well, so I can read the best practices again and again every time. So it's endless. The possibilities are endless. Okay, so this is really up to you how you want to do it. But I really recommend you to watch maybe a couple of videos. You have Francisco. He comes from Keep Productive. I think it's Keep Productive. If you write Francisco Notion, you will find him. He's a crazy Notion power user, and he shares everything he does. He's like a Notion influencer, I guess, and he does share even his templates and so on. So that's Notion for you. Okay, it's very, very powerful. Again, apologies. Oh my God, these allergies. I hope that the summer comes. All right, so next up, we saw Miro, Notion, some really technical tools, right? And I hope that you've understood the possibilities. I can't show you all the features. Apologies for that. But I'm sure that you can all now discover it for yourselves because you've had the basics. Games, a bit more fun part of it, okay? So I know that Rosanna is on the call and she does some great games on with her friends and family. She does some Monopoly sessions and so on, which amazing, because I was like, wow, can you share me your Kahoot quizzes as well for me with my that I could do with my friends? So I think that everybody knows Kahoot. I didn't even get into Kahoot because it's so popular. It's just a quiz builder. It's super fun. Use Kahoot, okay? But I'm going to a couple other different ones that that we're using to play with friends. So one of them is, hold on, I need to move the Zoom board. One of them is Spyfall. Okay, Spyfall, very simple. Okay, is you can do host new game. Everybody can be on their phones or a Zoom call or wherever in the world. You all get a little card. One of you is a spy. The rest is a bartender, a waitress, a blah blah blah, and you have a space. You have a location. The location is the restaurant, right? And so you ask each other questions. Everybody can ask questions, and you're trying to guess who's the spy. And while you're trying to guess who's the spy can guess where you are. And if the spy guesses where the location is, the spy wins, okay? And if you guys find out the spy, then obviously he doesn't get any points, okay? At first, it sounds very silly, but when you have a bit of beer at hand and wine, I bet you it's really, really fun. I tell you that. We had hours and hours of laughing and cracking up, you know? So it sounds silly at first, but obviously a lot of drink helps make it more fun. Okay, so Spyfall, test it out. Tell me how it works. But I think here they have also how to play, which I didn't check because a friend of ours started to do this. Right, there's a timer that you can change as well. All right, is how to play. You're an FBI detective. No. You have all the things here explaining it, and it's free, and it's super simple to use, and it's like you're in a room, right? Because there is actually, it's just a card that you have and then you have to talk about it. So it's a great game to be talk. It's not a PlayStation game where you connect it and you all have to shoot each other, right? It's more of a family game, friends game to be together as a social game, let's call it. So I like Spyfall. I found out 2 months ago. We were having quite fun on it. And the other one that I actually did a session with students while they were on holiday. So one of my classes, actually, they had a week holiday. And I'm glad Carlota is here to hear this as well. So my students, they asked me, they said, hey, can we do a class during the holidays? Right? I was like, you know what? We'll do a class, but it's not going to be a class. It's a call where we can play and we can have fun together. And that was during Easter break. And really, most of the students showed up and they really wanted this. You know, they didn't have to neither. But what we did is we played Cards Against Humanity, which is quite a bad game. It's a game for bad people, they call it. But they have an online version, it's a bit cheapskate version, but it's an online version, okay, that you can find out here. It's called Remote Insensitivity, which is Cards Against Humanity. If you know Cards Against Humanity, it's actually a real cards game. Okay, it's a drinking game, right? Yeah, it's called A Party Game for Horrible People. It's the most fun game you will ever play in your life. All right, it's the most fun game you will ever play in your life. Seriously, like we spent 6 to 8 hours just cracking up and laughing. It's terrible. So if you are sensitive to words and things, don't play it, please, because you have to be a bit insensitive. Because usually the worst sentence and the worst, like the scariest or the dirtiest or the funniest always wins, okay? And if you do have a fainted heart, you know, and you're like, oh, I don't like bad words and stuff, do not play it. Okay. But if you like dirty jokes and stuff like that, do play it. But funny enough, when we come here, we have backgammon, checkers, crazy eights, and so on. These are all live, real time. All right. So when I move a card, everybody sees me moving the card. You can do it on a desktop, on a phone, or an iPad. Right. So you can play card games, even if you're not together. So this is another game that I do recommend to check out. It's not the best. There's going to be some little bugs. It's free. Right. So bear with it. Just enjoy it. You know, have a beer if something blocks and refresh it. Okay, so these are a couple of games I wanted to show just to highlight some of the others. Again, you have now a digital version of Uno, which is very nice. You have Mori, you have Kahoot quizzes, you have Spyfall, you have playing cards.io. You have so many things that you can do. I got into Face Poker, which is like FaceTime, but in poker lately, right? It's a bit, I don't know, you have some random weird people, everybody joins in. My friends doesn't want to play poker with me, so because I always win, so they don't play with me, so I have to play with random people, right? But if you do have friends that like to play with you, maybe you can play together. All right, so that's for games. And I just wanted to share a bonus item before we go into our Q&A. What is my bonus item? It's crisp.ai. Okay, why did I include this bonus item? Because a lot of you have kids, a lot of you have dogs, cats, washing machines, you have loud girlfriends, boyfriends, you have loud background, you have loud whatever, right? Crisp.ai fixes all of that. It fixes all of that. What Crisp.ai do with machine learning and artificial intelligence, it will understand, like if I was doing this now, right, you heard it, but if I had Crisp.ai, you wouldn't hear that, because it will just let through talking, okay? And it's great because it's both ways. It can be for the speaker and for the microphone. So if it's for the microphone, it will block out my background noise, so you wouldn't hear anything in my background. And if somebody has a lot of background noise, I can also activate it on the speaker, so I wouldn't hear Jack's baby crying in the back, right? And I'm sharing this as a bonus item because I know a lot of people have been saying, it's so hard to work from home, it's so loud, I can't hear, and the other one has 2 kittens, the dog is barking, and so on. Get yourself some nice headphones, close yourself, put Crisp.ai, forget about the rest, right? So that's my little bonus item. I think that they have 120 minutes a week, a month, a day for free or something like that, and then you pay 4 or 5 euros. I don't pay yet. I have the free version. It's more than enough. I don't always have it on. I have it on usually if I'm going to sit in the terrace sometimes, if I'm doing a call, informal call, and I want to sit a bit in the terrace or something like that, then I'll put Crisp.ai. You won't have the background noise. You won't have the cars. You won't have the wind. None. Whew. And it would cut down my sneezing as well for you guys. So Crisp.ai, please check it out. So now we have Q&A. My eyes is killing me. I'm really sorry, everybody. I wish that I didn't have it today because I could speak a bit easier and I wouldn't look all red. So this was a bit my presentation / workshop. I tried to make it a bit of a workshop to show you things in real life. I wanted to actually get everybody on board and do things, but then I realized if we're 40, 50 people, it's going to be very tough. So that's why we chose Valeria in the beginning to do a little bit of that, as you see. So now we're open for Q&A. I know that we're 1 minute over time, I think, but I do have a few minutes. I have actually a call at 5. So I have a bit of time if anybody wants to talk about some of those. Anybody has some issues of how to make things work. Anybody has a use case that they want to walk through it. Now is the time. I don't see the chat. Do I need to see the chat?
Yeah, you've got a couple of questions on the chat, Tim.
Okay.
Would it be possible to share templates in Notion with others?
Yes, of course. So that's the, yeah, you can actually, let me answer Micah first, and then we can let Naivedya ask a question. So Micah and everybody else, of course you can customize templates, share them. And this is why these Notion influencers they're amazing to follow because they share all their templates, right? So I could share my homepage you saw, I can share it with all of you, and you'd have right away that same thing. And usually it's very simple. If you come here, if I click share, right? So I can enable there, and then I can also enable what we call templates, allow duplicate as a template. So if I do that, you can take that from there if you need. So if I allow that, okay, then anybody that has an access to that, they can duplicate it to their own system. Okay, I'm going to close that because that's my personal. So now it's disabled. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Micah. Let's try to see. We had Naivedia wanted to ask a question, I think.
Yeah, can I speak instead of writing it?
Yes, you are already. You can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Tim. Thank you. So there was before we came to Notion, I think
Yeah.
I was using Wunderlist, which was a bit more convenient before getting into Notion. So would you advise using Wunderlist and then moving into Notion, or would you suggest someone would directly go into Notion?
Okay, so I'll tell you my honest feedback here. Right now, I'm not using it as a task management. Wunderlist or OmniFocus or Asana, they're task management. And I don't use Notion as a task management yet. Why? Because the task, when they have due dates, they don't have the same notification alert system that Wunderlist or OmniFocus or Asana or Trello will have. Right? They're building though. I bet you in a couple of weeks or a month, I'll tell you, yes, I switched everything off. But right now, what I use Notion. I use OmniFocus is all my tasks and my projects. Each task are inside it. And I use Fantastical too for my calendaring. So these three tools are my actual core tools. So
Okay.
Don't switch yet. Don't switch yet. Start Notion as a second brain, more of resources, guides, templates, and so on. With time, maybe you might be able to adapt it for your own tasking, because you can. Like I built one. I'll show you if you really want, but I'm not very happy with it and I don't enjoy it. So I got kind of rid of it. So it's on here. I have a task list. Okay. It's on a Kanban. I can change it as a list and so on. You can do so many things, but the notification and the deadlines and the due dates for me is not enough. So I'm not really using it at the moment, but I'm testing the waters. So I would recommend you to test the waters, but Wunderlist is a great one for just items.
All right, thank you. And the second one was like you've spoken about Miro, and then I think Nathia mentioned about Mural, but there are other apps like Envision, Assemblage, Trello, which are also being used. So like
Continue, please. Sorry.
I felt that Envision was a much more powerful tool when it comes to UX designing, compared
absolutely.
to maybe specifically comparing the features to Miro or Trello for that matter.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, Envision is a prototyping tool. It's made for UX prototyping, for UI, and so on. Miro is not for that. Miro is a whiteboard. Right? It's a big whiteboard with lots of other features and options that you can do it, but it's not for UX. So Envision is a very, very niche, or very specific use case, and Miro is more of a generalist and is a whiteboard and not just a design tool, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Let's see some other questions. Is there any that I'm going to miss if somebody can?
Yeah, Tim, Carlotta said, my birthday is this Sunday. Any tips on how to organize an online birthday party?
Yes, amazing, Carlotta. I would definitely use what I have here that I showed, zmurl.com, right? So zmurl.com, as you can see here, will open up very quickly, right? What I would do is I would schedule a Zoom meeting first. I wouldn't invite anybody, right? I would sign in with my Zoom, or let's just, I hope it's not going to change anything to my Zoom. It shouldn't, right? You see, there was I think, let me show you that because that was quite fun. So they just did an update on it as well. It looks beautiful. Birthday with a lot of great friends. So what I would do is I would create an event page for yourself, Carlotta, like this, right? You would say Carlotta birthday, register, please put your email, and that email could automatically send your Zoom dial-in passwords. As you can see, you can put the event information. You can see all of your RSVPs here. She's taking notes. I'm waiting. You can see all your RSVPs here. And if you want to approve some of the friends, maybe some of them you don't like them, you can say, no, you can't come to my birthday party. So you can deny them. And I mean, you could even do a money event, but you don't have to. You can do it for free. So I would definitely use this first. I would create a Zoom event. I would populate this. So what happens is there's a guest so that we don't have to log in. So I would put a cover photo. I will put the name. I will sign in with my Zoom so that it pulls in those settings of your Zoom, the event details, and so on. And what you could do is just share this link. Say, hey, I'm going to celebrate my birthday. Make sure to RSVP. In that way, they'll get the settings and everything on time, and you'd have a nice welcoming space for them to get excited like a real event. And then what I would do in Zoom itself, let me change this so it doesn't take attention from us. What I would do in Zoom itself, I would do a couple of little tricks. Like I would do maybe a poll. So you can do some questions, right? You could say, how is everybody? And everybody could just answer it. How's everybody doing with this and that? So you could start a bit interactive since they're all your friends. It'd be great to make them interact with you with some questions and so on. And I would also, when they're joining the Zoom call, I would share my screen with sound, and I would put Spotify with the music. That's what I do with my students even, just to let you know. So while everybody's showing up on the call, there's music, and they can see my my Spotify, and there's music. Everybody starts coming in, dancing a little bit, and so on. And then I turn the volume down, and then I take on the microphone. I'm like, hey guys, welcome to class, you know, and it really gives a good energy. And I think for a party, it's even better. So I would focus on these little things. Let's see.
There's another one.
Movies together or not?
There's another one from Debbie.
Okay. Debbie. On Zoom, I have issues. Yeah, that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I have issues when a student is writing on a PDF version of the course book. If they write an answer and I scroll the page up, I need the answers to stay in the gaps, but they don't. Any way to fix this? Debbie, could you maybe explain us a little bit this, because I'm not sure I understand it correctly.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to say what I mean. When I share my screen, or when the student shares a screen with me so that they can type with the annotation tool directly in the gaps. So if I've got PDF exercise or course book or whatever, and then they want to go up the page, the text
the annotations though, yeah.
And it's driving me nuts.
Absolutely, and I think that I'm thinking about it, that there's nothing that you can do about that. Zoom is not going to be able, it's not going to be able to keep the annotations, because the annotation is about the screen itself and not about the document or anything. It just annotates to the screen. So even if you change the screen and stuff, the annotation is still there. So that's why it's not moving. So what I would recommend, it's actually to use a doc on the side, or a Notion or something like that, or even a Miro or something like that, where they can interact with that. And you can still have it on the screen share, but they're actually putting the information inside the document.
Yeah, directly in the chat box or something like that, as well.
Yeah, the chat sometimes gets a bit crowded, and it can get a bit noisy, right? So I would really, if you do a lot of these things of live working together, really look at another option of just having a doc, like do half doc, half the call or something like that, because the annotations are they're very temporary. They're very temporary and they're not flexible.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Sorry, I can't help more out there.
No, don't worry. I just want to say thank you very much as well, because this is fantastic. Thank you. It's really helpful.
Thank you, Debbie.
Cheers.
Thanks. So Carlota asked for a house party. Yeah, you could do a house party as well. The same thing, but house party is a bit more, I don't know, like smaller and stuff. I think Zoom is bigger, better quality, and so on. So there was a question that I missed before. I'm going to go back to it very quickly, and then I'll go back down. Any recommendations for watching movies together online beside Netflix party? To be honest with you, I've not done it yet, the Netflix party. I saw on Product Hunt. If you go on Product Hunt and you write Netflix party, you will find that feature, that software, and it'll give you some other similar things. So you can find it. You go on producthunt.com, put Netflix party, find that, and it'll give you some other similar tools. I've not done it myself. I like to watch movies and TV shows with my girlfriend and not with all my friends. But I think it makes a lot of sense to watch things together. And I've seen that a lot of companies are building these kind of tools right now. For student council takes, that's good. Thank you, guys. Was this session recorded? Yes, it should be still recorded, and it'll be on YouTube as well. Okay, great. Where can we find it afterwards? Okay, yeah, that's again the same question, YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. I think, is there any question I missed? I don't think so.
I think that's it. I think you've covered them all, Tim.
All right, perfect. Great. If you do have any other questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or on my email address, which is, I should have brought it here as a slide, but I didn't do that. You see, I'm not always the best at preparing things neither, but I'll put it on here. This is my email address. Okay, you can always use it, right? I'm quite a busy person, but I try to help as okay. Yeah?
Okay.
So I have some students. See you tomorrow. Nice.
Let me just say a huge thank you to Tim. Imagine an enthusiastic round of applause from all attendees today. I think everyone will agree this has been a really helpful, very practical session. And, you know, we really appreciate you doing it while you're suffering from your allergies. So thank you to Tim, and thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you for attending. I don't know if you saw, but actually your attendance today means that ESEI will be donating €1 to the Bancos de Alimentos, which is the Food Banks of Spain initiative. And we'll be doing that for every single online session, every single online workshop or conference that we run during the quarantine circumstances. So thanks a lot for attending, guys. We'll be donating on your behalf for this conference and for all future workshops. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick reminder to you. Now I have you here. We have a couple of other online workshops that are already confirmed and in the diary. So we've got two careers focused workshops, one running on the 6th of May, which is next Wednesday, which is called Becoming a Leader. And we have another one on May 22nd, which focuses on sales and negotiation. So don't miss it, guys, that we're piling things on for your benefit. And I really encourage you to make the most of it, particularly as we're all kind of at home and finding things to do at home. So a final huge thank you to Tim and all of you for tuning in. And I think that wraps up the session.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, ESEI. And yeah, great initiative. So please make sure to show up more on these workshops and get all your friends in them as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great week ahead.
People are waving.
Thank you, Tim. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.